Are Americans letting the future be decided without them?
Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right.
This is Go Right Now. Welcome back to Go Right with Peter Boykin, the Constitutionalist for liberty. Because the future of a constitutional republic belongs to those who show up. Are Americans letting the future be decided without them, or stepping forward to lead the way? On midterms, the real election, most Americans ignore until it is too late. Stand up, now it is your day. Go right, think right, move right together. The future starts right now. GoRightNews.com.
Are Americans letting the future be decided without them? Welcome to Go Right with Peter Boykin. I'm your Constitutionalist for liberty. Picture this. You hear people arguing everywhere about politics. Online, at the dinner tables, on podcasts, on television panels where everyone talks louder but rarely anyone listens. Everyone seems convinced that the fate of the country hangs on one massive moment, one dramatic election night, one presidential showdown that will either save or destroy everything. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people do not want you to hear. The real future of this constitutional republic is rarely decided during the elections that get most of the attention. That's the presidential elections. It is decided quietly. It is decided in midterms. It is decided in local races most people skip because they think they do not matter. And right now, as early voting moves into its final stretch here in North Carolina and other places in the nation, and soon, a lot of people have different midterm elections at different times. But we're watching that reality unfold again. People often ask why they feel disconnected from government, why politics seem to appear without warning. You know, while the signs pop up everywhere, drive, there's lots of signs, and it's not just saying we buy ugly homes. It's please buy ugly candidates, right? Why the direction of the country feels predetermined before a presidential campaign even begins, or any campaign begins. The answer is simple, but not comfortable. Many Americans are showing up too late. They wait for the biggest stage while the foundation is being built somewhere else. Now, in a constitutional republic, power does not magically flow from the top down. It flows upwards. More like trickle up. Local councils shape communities. State legislatures shape nationwide policy. Congressional races shape federal direction. And all of those layers interact long before a presidential election becomes the headline. And that's where midterms are where the chessboard is set. They determine who draws districts, who writes election laws, who controls committees, who funds or blocks legislation, and who frames the narrative heading into the next national cycle, which is the presidential race, 2028. Yet the turnout drops. Why? Why? People ask, why? Because people are told these elections are less important. Because media attention shifts elsewhere. Because cultural war arguments distract from structural reality. Now here's some opinion-based commentary. It all is opinion, folks. Both parties are guilty of this dynamic. Political machines understand something the average voter often forgets. Control is easier when participation is lower. A motivated minority can shape outcomes when the broader public stays home. They win when you stay home. That's not a conspiracy theory. You don't have to put 10 hats on, and aluminum's expensive nowadays. That's just plain mathematics. Low turnout magnifies influence. And that is why midterms are not just another election. They are the leverage point. That's why we say we always lose in the midterms. Look at the debates happening right now across the country. Election laws, early voting access, local policies affecting schools and infrastructure, federal legislative agendas already being shaped by who holds committee power. And none of that starts with a presidential inauguration. It starts here. It starts with who voters choose in races that rarely trend nationally. Now let's talk about something even deeper. Trust. Many Americans feel politically homeless. They see both parties fighting headlines, battles, while everybody and everyday economic pressures rise. They watch politicians debate symbolic issues while families worry about groceries, housing, and security. I'm just like you folks. I feel about the same thing. I worry about every day out there hustling to make my money, to pay my bills, hoping that maybe there's a week more or longer in the month. So this disconnect is real. But the solution is not in disengagement. Disengagement is surrender, throwing up the white flag. When citizens step back, systems don't pause. I mean, we're in a shutdown right now, a semi-shutdown that hardly anybody's talking about, but we are in one. When Homeland Security and things like that, with all the people traveling and getting out of town for winter and such, that you somehow have an operating security, DHS, but with no money and no direction. But meanwhile, decisions continue. Policies continue. Power reorganizes itself without the voices that chose silence. And then people wake up months or years later wondering how things changed so quickly. Like, we just got out of the COVID, where we couldn't even say COVID. Couldn't even say COVID in a video without getting in trouble. And that changed the world. People don't understand what slight changes it changed. How our powers were taken from us. Our constitutional powers. But they didn't change quickly. They changed quietly. And that's the lesson of midterms. The future is rarely stolen overnight. It is shaped gradually through smaller choices that accumulate into larger outcomes. Now, more opinion. It's all opinion, folks. From a constitutionalist for liberty's perspective, that's me, the health of this republic depends on consistent engagement at every level. Federal elections matter, but so do county commissioners, school boards, judgeships, and state legislative seats. These offices shape daily life in ways that many citizens underestimate. This is especially true in states like North Carolina, where demographic shifts, we're a big purple state, with the majority of voters being unaffiliated. I know the Republicans are happy that they've beat the Democrats in registered voters right now, but how many people are leaving from parties to become unaffiliated? So again, this is especially true in states like North Carolina, where demographic shifts, policy debates, and political competition create a dynamic environment where small margins carry large consequences. Early voting is not just convenience, it is an opportunity. And then people complain, oh, it's too long, early voting's too long, but yet people still don't come out. 2 weeks, weekends, people still don't come out. It's the moment where citizens decide whether they are the observers of the political process or participants shaping it. Folks, I don't sit here and just yap all day long and talk about things and not do anything about it. This is where a lot of people can do stuff about it. At the voting box. Talking about candidates, getting the right candidates in, pushing and helping the right candidates here. You worry about term limits and stuff, well, find better candidates. You worry about presidential campaigns or sheriff campaigns or Congress campaigns or Senate campaigns and people complain. You got to think about how we can win, who we can put in there that not just win, but also make sure we have somebody in there who actually can do their job. Not just to win. It doesn't do us any good to have somebody in there that wins, but then does a horrible job. This is the moment, again, when citizens decide whether they are observers of the political process or participants shaping it. So here's the real question. Are Americans going to continue treating midterms as background noise while expecting presidential elections to fix everything? Or are they going to recognize that the real direction of this country is determined long before the spotlight arrives? Because the truth is this. The future of our constitutional republic is not decided by the loudest voices. I know that. I'm pretty loud, but I'm not the one that decides it all. You do. It's decided by the people who show up when fewer people are watching. And that moment is happening right now. Time to go right, vote. Do right, be right, think right, vote right. Go right. Thank you for tuning in. This is Go Right with Peter Boykin. I'm your Constitutionalist for Liberty. You can check us out on Rumble and YouTube. That's our main places. Spreaker distributes our podcasts everywhere. At least you can listen to it. And please share. Please like. Please follow. You can donate at $GoRightNews. That helps keep the website up. Go to GoRightNews.com, PeterBoykin.com, and GoRightNC.com for more information. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Turn it up now. Welcome to Go Right. We doing this tonight. Woo! Woke up to headlines spinning in circles again. Everybody shouting loud, but nobody listening. Same old story, just a different disguise. Truth gets buried while the noise multiplies. Scrolling through chaos, trying to find what's real. Facts get twisted like a carnival wheel, but I ain't here to follow every trend. I stand for liberty again and again. They say, slow down, don't speak too loud. Blend into the background crowd, but I was never built that way. Got something real to say. I just might go right tonight. Turn up the truth and shine the light. No fear, no filter, no disguise. Standing strong for freedom's rise. Yeah, I just might go right tonight. Oh, raise your voice, don't hide your fight. Oh, we the people take the mic. Yeah, we go right tonight. Yeah. Oh, from the streets to the states to the federal halls, every level here in liberty's cause. Local voices starting raising the tide. Change begins when the people decide. They try to frame it like a left or right game, but freedom burning is a universal flame. Not about hate, not about control, just a constitution in the heart and soul. Play safe, stay in line. Don't question power, don't cross the line. But history moves when courage speaks, and strength belongs to the free, not weak. I just might go right tonight. Turn up the truth and shine the light. No fear, no filter, no disguise. Standing strong for freedom's rise. Yeah, I just might go right tonight. Raise your voice, don't
Welcome back to Go Right with Peter Boykin, the Constitutionalist for Liberty, where we step back from the noise, look at the bigger picture, and talk about what really shapes the future of our constitutional republic. A quiet conversation recently started with the simple observation: people talk endlessly about presidential elections. Every headline, every debate, every social media argument seems to revolve around who will sit in the White House, but far fewer people treat midterm elections with the same urgency. And yet, when you look at how policy actually changes in America, it becomes clear that the elections happening right now often shape the direction of government long before a presidential race ever captures national attention. As early voting enters its final stretch before Election Day here in North Carolina, the real story is not just about who wins individual races. It is about how participation right now sets the foundation for everything that comes next. Federal legislation, state policy, local school board decisions, infrastructure priorities, public safety, taxes, and even how future elections themselves are run all start here. This is the election cycle that quietly builds the future, and most Americans do not realize it until the results are already written. Presidential elections dominate headlines, but midterms determine who writes the rules that presidents must follow. Congressional seats, state legislatures, judgeships, local boards, and ballot initiatives are often decided during these cycles. Those officials shape federal legislation through control of the House and Senate. They shape state policy through legislatures and executive offices. They influence local regulations affecting taxes, schools, policing, and infrastructure. And they determine election laws that govern how voting happens in the future. The structure of a constitutional republic means power flows upward from local decisions. When turnout is low, smaller groups have outsized influence. Political science research consistently shows that turnout changes outcomes. Small shifts in participation can swing entire districts, especially in off-cycle elections where margins are narrow. Midterms are not a side story. They are the mechanism that builds the battlefield for future presidential races. Right now, North Carolina early voting is showing why engagement matters. Early turnout has reportedly exceeded expectations in some areas, suggesting heightened interest and potentially shifting political energy. Competitive races at multiple levels, including local offices and high-stakes statewide contests, are already shaping expectations about where momentum may go next. These races matter because they determine who writes state laws, who influences federal policy, and who frames the national debate moving forward. Even disputes about where early voting sites are located or how access is structured demonstrate how procedural decisions can shape participation itself. Every rule about where, when, and how people vote carries downstream consequences. That is why midterms are not just about candidates. They are about systems. And what happens in one state rarely stays there. Midterm signals often appear first in local or special elections across the country. Analysts watch these early results closely because they reveal enthusiasm gaps between parties, expose messaging that resonates with voters, and preview coalition strengths and weaknesses. Political momentum rarely appears overnight. It grows through smaller elections long before presidential debates begin. A flipped state seat today can foreshadow congressional changes tomorrow. Another reason midterms matter is that many policy battles are already being shaped at the state and congressional level before national leadership changes. Debates over voter ID laws, election security measures, legislative proposals about voter eligibility, and policies affecting polling locations are all unfolding right now. These decisions influence turnout, trust in institutions, and the direction of governance itself. The future is not waiting for a presidential election. It is being decided right now. From federal to local levels, elections cascade through the system. Federal outcomes determine national policy and judicial appointments. State governments decide how federal laws are implemented, how districts are drawn, and how election rules function. Local governments directly affect daily life through zoning, policing priorities, school boards, and taxation. Midterms connect all three levels at once. Ignoring them is like watching only the final act of a movie while missing everything that explains how the story got there. Historically, midterms suffer from lower turnout compared to presidential elections. That creates a paradox. The elections that most directly shape governance often receive the least participation. When fewer people vote, outcomes can reflect only a narrow slice of the electorate. That shifts power toward the most motivated groups rather than the broader population. Here's the bottom line. Many Americans criticize the direction of government while overlooking the elections that quietly shape it. Midterms determine who writes the laws, oversees the rules, and structures the political landscape long before a presidential race begins. When voters disengage, they are not just losing one election, they are surrendering multiple layers of influence. So welcome back to Go Right with Peter Boykin, the Constitutionalist for Liberty. If this conversation resonates with you, follow across all social media platforms, share this episode, and let everyone else know the question we should all be asking right now. So we ask again, are midterms the real election?
Tonight, yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn it up now. Welcome to Go Right. We're doing this tonight. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Woke up to headlines spinning in circles again. Everybody shouting loud, but nobody listening. Same old story, just a different disguise. Truth gets buried while the noise multiplies. Scrolling through chaos, trying to find what's real. Facts get twisted like a carnival wheel. But I ain't here to follow every trend. I stand for liberty again and again. They say slow down, don't speak too loud. Blend into the background crowd, but I was never built that way. Got something real to say. I just might go right tonight. Turn up the truth and shine a light. No fear, no filter, no disguise. Standing strong for freedom's rise. Yeah, I just might go right tonight. Raise your voice, don't hide your fight. We the people, take the mic. Hey, yeah, we go right tonight. From the streets to the states to the federal halls, every level hearing liberty's calls. Local voices starting ways in the tide. Change begins when the people decide. They try to frame it like a left or right game, but freedom burning is a universal flame. Not about hate, not about control, just a constitution in the heart and soul. They say play safe, stay in line. Don't question power, don't cross the line. But history moves and courage speaks. Strength belongs to the free, not weak. I just might go right tonight. Turn up the truth and shine the light. No fear, no filter, no disguise. Standing strong for freedom's rise. Yeah, I just might go right tonight. Raise your voice, don't hide your fight. We the people, take the mic. Yeah, we go right tonight. No more waiting on permission. No more silence and submission. From small towns to the skyline view, every voice can carry through. It's not a trend, it's a flame inside. Truth don't